So I guess the question of the title remains, is Reverse active in 2024? And honestly, probably not. I have tried to get on to matches over the past few days at relative peak times, and I'll probably get one a night, maybe two if everyone stays on. But it takes a long time to get matches now. For context, I'm on PlayStation 5 and crossplay is on, and I am trying to play at around maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night UK time, which isn't peak time, but for kind of my region and stuff like that, it is pretty much the peak time. And this was on a Friday night, and it took about 20 minutes of trying to get a match to actually kind of start. It's a shame, really, because I think if they just added more content to the game frequently and not just added these nobody characters that no one really cared about, it would have done better. People were expecting a big content drop when the 4 remake came out, like a map based on the game or some bioweapons from the game and skins and stuff, but it just didn't happen. Instead, they added more of Chris's team from Village, which they were fun to play, don't get me wrong, but they just weren't anyone's favourite character, really. That's not to say the game is completely dead. You can still get matches on weekends at peak times. You're still gonna be waiting probably a fair amount of time, but you can still find games. People still play the game, and people are still good at the game. But the game is just not going anywhere anytime soon, really. Unfortunately, I think overall, a PvP game where your favorite characters kind of duke it out is fun, but it isn't any kind of lasting game. If they added more modes, maybe more characters that we knew, more cosmetic stuff, it probably would have stayed alive a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, no one is really playing RE to play PvP, and that's obvious. The games are single player driven games or cooperative games, and it really does beg the question. You are trying to make multiplayer games in the Resident Evil universe, and I appreciate that. You want to try and get in that market of multiplayer games and make some money off of that, and I completely understand that from a business standpoint. But when your games are based around, fighting these monsters and stuff like that, and you have games in the mainline franchise that are co-op and people enjoy, why not make another co-op game, a fully co-op experience, and build off of that? I've said it multiple times at this point, but while it's not fully co-op, the best multiplayer game they made was Resistance, and that game got probably a fair amount more support than this one. It did eventually die, and that's a shame. Again, I think it's way more active than this one, but you can still find games fairly easily. But that was probably the most fun experience for multiplayer they've made. At its core, it was co-op, it was asymmetrical, and nowadays if you play it, there are characters that are just OP, there are builds you can make that are just unbeatable, and that's purely because the game got no support anymore, and they haven't kind of done any balancing or whatnot, and people will just spam the OP shit. But at its time, when they were supporting it, when they were changing stuff, it was fun, and that's the point. If you're going to make a multiplayer game, do you expect people to be playing, for a long time? Make it fun. That's the thing with Reverse. One mode, limited characters, any characters you added no one really cared about. It got stale too quickly, And yes, it had balancing issues. There were some characters that were just obviously better than others. And I think that's the thing with every hero shooter, where a character with certain abilities is going to be just way better than others. But one mode, limited characters, limited options, and it got stale very quickly. So yeah, to answer the question of the title, is Reverse dead in 2024? Not fully, but pretty much on its last legs. There's still a committed fan base out there, and I'm sure there are people out there that genuinely enjoy the game. I've played with people that have hundreds of hours on this game, and fair play to them. If they enjoy the game, that's cool, but it is what it is. As always, be sure to leave your thoughts on Reverse down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.